They say a man loses his fire with age. They say after 50, you're supposed to slow down, fade out, settle for less. But here's the truth no one talks about. Most men don't lose their fire. They just forget where to press. There are two pressure points inside every man, not in your body, in your soul. And when those points go numb, you stop feeling like you. You stop waking up hungry for life. You stop fighting for your purpose. You stop believing you're still the man you were meant to be. But when those pressure points awaken again, everything changes. Your energy returns, your confidence resurfaces, and you stop living like a man waiting for permission and start living like a man who decides. So, let me ask you something. When was the last time you felt alive before the world woke up? When was the last time you looked in the mirror and saw fire, not fatigue? This isn't about pills, hormones, or magic fixes. It's about reclaiming the masculine current that runs through your veins, the one life, heartbreak, and time have tried to silence. Because if you're honest, brother, you haven't felt like yourself in a long time, have you? You wake up, but you don't rise. You scroll through the same news, the same routines, the same quiet disappointment that hides behind productivity. You go through your day like a soldier on autopilot, efficient, reliable, but disconnected. Your eyes work, your hands move, but your heart feels unplugged. Maybe you've tried to talk about it, only to hear, you're fine, just tired. Maybe you've kept it inside because men don't complain. They endure. You remember how you used to be. The energy, the ambition, the confidence that used to pour out of you like electricity, and now you're wondering where that man went. You tell yourself it's just age, but deep down, you know it's not. It's not about getting older, it's about getting disconnected. Disconnected from passion, disconnected from purpose, disconnected from the very force that once made you unstoppable. Psychology calls it emotional atrophy, when the muscle of your inner fire goes unused for too long. It's what happens when a man spends more time enduring than expressing, when you stop fighting for joy and start justifying mediocrity. And that's where the first pressure point hides. See, most men think they're tired because of work or age, but the truth is, you're tired because you've been carrying your battles alone. You've been the rock for everyone, but no one's been the ground for you. You've been solving problems, fixing situations, holding it together, but inside you've been bleeding quietly. The modern world has trained men to suppress, to lock away emotion, desire, even dreams, because men handle it. But suppression isn't strength, it's slow suicide. Every time you silence your frustration, your longing, your truth, you press down on your own lifeline. And over time, your spirit stops sending signals. The pressure builds, but you no longer feel it. That's when you start losing your edge. Not just in relationships, but in your presence. You stop looking women in the eye with conviction. You stop laughing from your gut. You stop standing with that grounded confidence that says, I know who I am. And this isn't weakness. This is what happens when a man forgets to check in with his own soul. I know what it feels like to wake up and not recognize yourself, to sit in silence next to someone you love and feel like a stranger, to look at your reflection and see someone faded. You start to question if it's too late, if the world has moved on, if maybe you've missed your chance to feel alive again. You try to distract yourself with work, with noise, with responsibility, but every distraction only deepens the silence inside. Brother, I get it. That silence hurts. It's the sound of a man who's lost his connection to the pulse of his own life. And you're not weak for feeling that. You're not broken. You're just unplugged. There's a psychology term for this, learned helplessness. When you've been defeated too many times, your brain stops believing in possibility. So you stop trying, not because you don't care, but because you're tired of being disappointed. But let me remind you, your story isn't over. It's just paused. And what's been sleeping in you, that force, that fire, that hunger, it's not gone. It's waiting, waiting for you to press those two pressure points and wake it up. Science says men experience emotional blockages differently from women. Women tend to express. Men tend to suppress. When women hurt, they cry. When men hurt, they go quiet. And silence is a dangerous medicine, because silence numbs you, not just to pain, but to passion. When you bury sadness, you also bury your drive. When you avoid vulnerability, you avoid intimacy. And when you stop expressing who you are, your body starts to forget how to respond to life itself. The first pressure point is emotional honesty. It's when you stop performing and start telling the truth to yourself. The moment you admit, I'm tired of pretending, that's when your system restarts. The second pressure point is self-respect. Not the shallow kind that flexes and boasts, but the quiet kind that says, I'm done betraying myself just to be liked. When you combine these two, honesty and self-respect, something shifts. You stand taller, you breathe deeper, you start feeling alive again. Because emotional energy and physical vitality are not separate, a man's body follows his mind, and a man's mind follows his truth. But here's what you need to know. You can't wait for someone else to press those points for you. Not your partner, not your doctor, not your past self. It starts with you deciding that you've had enough of living half awake. You have to look yourself in the mirror and say, I'm done apologizing for who I used to be, and I'm done pretending I'm fine. Because the moment you admit the truth, that's when healing begins. That's when the numbness starts to fade. That's when blood starts flowing. Not just through your body, but through your spirit. You've got more life ahead of you than behind you, but only if you choose to wake up. When you stop feeling excitement for things you once loved, it's not because they lost value. It's because you lost presence. Reignite it by doing one small thing that scares or excites you. Move your body. Speak your truth. Energy returns to motion. That's not vanity. That's avoidance. Look again, not to judge, but to reconnect. Tell the man in the mirror, you're still in there. Pain demands to be felt, and the more you suppress it, the louder it echoes. Sit with it. Let it speak. It's not there to hurt you. It's there to guide you. But the truth? Vulnerability is the final frontier of strength. It takes courage to say, I'm struggling, because only when you face your weakness can you awaken your real power. The fastest way to lose your masculinity is to live for approval. Your worth isn't in validation, it's in conviction. Start doing things that align with your truth, even if no one claps. Not just sexual desire, desire for life, desire for challenge, growth, creation. That desire is your lifeblood. Feed it, chase it, guard it. No, brother. Your best years begin when you stop fearing decline. Because when you stop chasing youth and start cultivating wisdom, you become magnetic. Every powerful man has rituals that recharge him. Morning walks, silence, lifting, journaling. Repetition breeds power. Discipline awakens desire for the mistakes, for the failures, for the times you betrayed your own standards. Forgiveness is the pressure release that lets your energy flow again. You want to know the real secret? The fire you're missing doesn't come from women, success, or validation. It comes from alignment. When your actions align with your truth, your body comes alive. When your words align with your values, your confidence returns. And when your heart aligns with your mission, you become unstoppable. You don't need to become someone new. You just need to remember who you were before the world told you to forget. That's what the two pressure points symbolize. Emotional honesty, your connection to truth, and self-respect, your commitment to live by it. Press them daily, through your choices, through your boundaries, through your silence that speaks louder than words. Because a man who is grounded in truth and respect, he doesn't chase, he attracts, he doesn't force, he flows, and his energy commands presence. This is your wake-up call. This is your resurrection. You've been sleeping on your own potential, mistaking survival for living. You've been playing small in a world that needs your full strength. You are not done. You are not past your prime. You are the sum of every fight, every scar, every time you chose to stand when life tried to break you. And right now, in this moment, you get to decide. Will you keep living on autopilot, or will you press those pressure points and rise? Rise with truth, rise with dignity, rise with fire, because the world still needs men who stand tall when others fold, men who love with depth, lead with purpose, and walk with presence. That's you. That's who you were. That's who you still are. You just forgot how powerful it feels to be fully alive. So, tomorrow morning, when you wake up, don't reach for your phone. Reach for yourself. Breathe deep. Stand tall. Press the 2 points that matter, truth and respect. Remind yourself, you're not too old, you're not too late, you're just in the chapter where you rise again. And when you do, your presence will shift, your energy will radiate, Your body will remember what it feels like to be filled with purpose, because erection isn't just physical, it's symbolic. It's the body's way of saying, I'm alive, I'm ready, I'm here. And when your mind and spirit rise, everything else follows. So rise, brother. Rise not just from your bed, but from your past. Rise from the doubts, the regrets, the silence. Rise as the man you were always meant to be, grounded, powerful, unshakable, because your fire never left. It was just waiting for you to press those two secret pressure points and wake up to your own greatness.